Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The Long War begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Stephen Ford, and we have a special guest tonight. Michael Haspel is in the house. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
I'm so happy to be here with my friend Mike Haspel and Mr. Icy.
Always keeping it icy.
You know how we do.
Man, I feel like there's been a lot going on the internet. We have a great show for everybody tonight. The title of this show is Tidewall, Hot or Not. Obviously, that is going to figure in a lot to our discussions tonight because that is a topic on everybody's mind, I feel like. We also have a great tabletop market watch because there's all the new Tau releases coming out finally, and we got a splash of Marines in there. Mike's going to hit us with some cool Flames of War stuff that, some of us might not have been alive for some of this stuff that's going to be in here, but it's going to be good times nonetheless. Then we're going to hit up some of the Tidewall discussion, and we have a really interesting webcast recap, I feel like, because there's some stuff. Now we're already trying to figure out the meta. Some of our viewers on the webcast, which you can catch live at 8 p.m. every Wednesday night, Eastern Standard Time, are already asking questions like, hey, is this going to be good because, the Tidewall does X, right? So and then we're going to wrap it up with some Kickstarter info, some news about what's going on here around the Long War, and hobby pipe dream. Hopefully we have time for that little hobby loving by myself, hopefully. So what do y'all say we get to it?
Let's do it, brother.
So obviously the Tidewall is a thing right now. It comes out this week, limited-ish, already sold out from G-Dub. It's kind of unfortunate series of events there. But what a lot of people don't know is, they're already selling for $300-400 on eBay. Don't do that.
Oh, my God. What?
So they've already pre-sold them all?
They sold. It didn't last like 3 or 4 hours online once it went up for sale.
It was like half an hour.
Good Lord.
It was Star Wars ticket crazy.
It was crashing internets. So they're already on eBay. People are pre-selling them. People are pre-selling them on eBay. They don't even have them for like $300-400, right? They are coming out in 2 weeks, the individual components. So don't snap that up. And GW said today to a lot of retailers that they are coming out with another special print run of these things, the entire box set.
Of course they are. That's like what we talked about earlier. Like it's not going to be collectible. Like they're going to make you think it's collectible. So you're going to snag it up and you're going to buy it, and there's going to be money being exchanged, and then they're going to be like, that did really well, so I'm going to find an excuse to re-release it every opportunity I get.
Yeah, but it is good that they're being responsive to go, holy smokes, this thing sold out way more than we thought. Let's print more.
But, the crazy thing is we're seeing this more and more often. Void Shell Generator, different books. I hope this isn't a trend, even though we would be blind to think that it isn't.
It's definitely, it seems like this is becoming the new 2-year release arc. Like first it was flyers, then it was like big monstrous creatures, and now it's fortifications.
Well, fortifications get exciting, and I don't know anything about this Tidewall yet. Like I said, I perpetually try to stay in the dark about these things so I can have genuine questions. But I would love to see some really cool fortifications. So currently they're all meh, and then a couple of them are really good. And so there's no reason to take the other meh ones. I'd love to see some exciting movement here from the Tidewall.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of metas and things like that. We'll definitely touch base on that later on in the show. I feel like I definitely wanted to hit on some of the other new releases that are coming out that we've already seen spoiled for next week. Finally, the Codex is coming out. It's going to be another, $49.50.
Brand new 7th edition Codex?
No. Actually, it's the 6th edition version with what people are saying is going to be the newer stuff in it, like the Storm Surge, the Tidewall, all that stuff.
But Juice, obviously, I mean, you're the expert on Tau. Obviously, there's going to be new rules in it, though. Right?
I mean, let me tell you. No. This Tidewall thing, man, like I can't wait to dive straight into it because I got a lot of opinions about it.
So the Tidewall, so basically you're telling me like it's going to be full of new units like the Tidewall,
Right.
The Ghost Keels, the Storm Surge, and the Supremacy Armor might even make it in there?
I don't think the Supremacy. It might.
Dude,
I haven't seen them put Forge World in there.
Yeah, the Supremacy Armor makes it in there.
That'd be
What?
saucy. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was there. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't there, to be honest, because, they usually come out with these units and they usually are in line to go into a book, an Imperial Armor book. But there really isn't an Imperial Armor book on the horizon. They released a Tau one earlier in the year. So there kind of isn't a place to put it. So that would be interesting if they put it in there.
It makes me excited because, obviously we're talking about old decks as the new decks. Like, that makes sense what they're going to do with Tyranids. And I was like, wait, Tyranids is already getting one? Because they're actually just going to push all, because Tyranids have gotten a massive amount of shit dropped on them recently. Like, we don't know the rules of half this shit. And Juice, do you know the fucking rules on these like Tyranid drop pods and shit?
Absolutely. I mean, like, that kind of stuff I do, but like all these fortifications and all this other stuff, like, man, it is too much to try to keep up with to the point. But the one thing I will say, comment about the Forge World stuff is like Forge World, and they are always notorious for like, oh, this isn't in a book, we'll just reprint 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. How many times have we seen the the Brass Scorpion?
Yeah,
in every fucking book.
Perfect example. It was in it was in like the Demios book. It was in Apocalypse 1 and 2. Then it made it into Imperial Armor 13. Like
Apocalypse
literally
Reloaded. Yeah,
literally they need to, like, it seems like they're trying to stop that. And if they, because the thing is, there's GW obviously has the highest profit margin on literature. They make the most amount of money in literature. It's hard to debate that. So if they found a way to release literature more often without invalidating rules, they would not only keep the current people involved happy, but promote the hobby and get more people.
Yeah.
Shout out Forge World also, because they've gotten on this train of free rules and some downloads that you can get straight from their site.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you're charging $300, $400 for a model, it better have rules with it. You know what I mean? But they always put it up there for sale, but they take it down when it goes into print, which is fair. But it is there if you want to buy it.
Just so you know, I mean, everything is all relative. I mean, GW is now they are borderline in the market to selling $200-$300 models without rules. You know what I mean? Like, you have to buy the extra supplement, or you have to do this or this. So it's, it's a double-edged sword right now. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like this new Tau Codex, if the rumors are true, and that the old Codex is the new Codex, it sounds like a decent compromise. That if you already play Tau, why buy the Codex again? You can just buy the new, the new supplement book that also, I might add, has rules for, I think it's Space Marines, right? The new one. So you're getting releases for actually 2 armies in that supplement book. So it's really not that bad. But if you're like, hey, I would like to start a Tau army, let me buy the Codex. Then you get all the new
primed.
rules.
Yeah, like a new person coming in. This is good. This is like, I think if they keep it this way without going that horrible Brass Scorpion analogy way, I think it could be a good thing.
Yeah, it'll definitely give people a reason to pick up, to put out new splash releases like we're seeing now. You're getting a Tau release with Space Marines because we have, the 2 campaign boxes that are coming out this week, the Burning Dawn and the Shadow Strike Solak or whatever. So you've got that stuff coming out. So it gives them a reason to bundle stuff together. You might get, they can push out new product. They can put one new little sprue in there with a new special character. They can put a campaign book in there. And then the week after, like we're seeing with this release, they have the Warzone book coming out. It's called like Callion. We'll say Callion. And that's a $75 release. So it's right on the heels of like the Shield of Ball books, from last December, November as well. So, and remember too, these are small releases. They can fit these things in anywhere. They have like a gap, like late November, late December, whatever. They come out with a new expansion or something like that. They can squeeze this in, and it's like the ultimate splash release. So there's always something coming out. There's always forward movement. And that's what, everybody definitely agreed they wanted it after the summer of Sigmar.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Because you could have some army that's been neglected for a while. I'm going to reset the clock and say, like, Sisters, get something in a splash release, just tiny, but it will placate those few Sisters players that are left right now.
But also
Right.
make new ones. If you, give me something new. This is like, I keep thinking about Tyranids because like obviously Juice has been doing a lot of Tyranids over in the longwar.net, and been watching all this new Bringing Hobby Back love. But additionally, I'm thinking about Chaos, and I'm like, this makes me happy because this means when Chaos comes out, it may not be the Chaos Codex I wanted because it may just be the old Chaos Codex, but all the releases bundled together. But it also could have the Chaos Night Titans, the Kaitan.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I think that they are. I like where your head's at, Kenny. Like, I think they're setting a precedent right now of the revamped Codex, the all together in one book, but still giving out new models to people and new units. And who knows? Like, there could be where they go in and still do some patchwork and fix some things, like giving people a fearless that need it, or giving people this and this. So I have to admit, I've had the worst feel badsies ever in my 40k career when the 6th edition NID book came out. Excuse me, and it literally invalidated my 15th
Your entire collection.
army I had.
Yeah.
Because the new book came out, and which is cool, where it comes new stuff has changed and everything, and I'm behind that. But solely, in my opinion, because of models weren't selling, that's when we see new stuff get better rules, because these better rules will sell more models. And what did I have to do? My 80 Gene Stealers and 8 Karn and 9 Carnifexes and Walking Hive Tyrants were useless. The hot shit was Tervagons and Termagants and all this, and I was like, I didn't want to go down that path. Like, I got just the ultimate shit on. So I'm happy to know that shouldn't.
That will never happen again if they keep
that
this
should
way.
never happen again. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely a hobby blessing. And speaking of new models, before we run down the rest of the new Tau release let's take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors.
Veterans, have you been by the longwar.net lately? New spoils are piling up. Sign up at thelongwar.net and claim your code to unlock valuable discounts at your favorite wargaming stores. Our friends at kingshobbiesandgames.com have added to that horde. An additional 5% off their already low prices. Sign up for free. thelongwar.net.
All right, and we're back. Lots more Tau on the way. We got the new Commander suit, which supposedly can make the two different miniatures, either the Enforcer or the Cold Star miniature. Now, the price on this kit is $50, and the only previews we've seen are in German. We can't tell if there's 2 models in there or just one. I'd like to think there's 2 in there, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I literally don't even know what you're talking about.
I have absolutely no idea. I don't.
$50 price tag.
Two model. I'm gonna say two.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2 because that fits with their pricing.
It
Otherwise,
does actually,
it'd be
because
more like a $30 model.
Yeah, because normally the Crisis suit's about $30. I can see 2 of them being $50, and the Crisis battle suit, which those all look to be redesigned, and the sprues look to have like one of each of all the weapons. If you want to take 2 burst cannons, you can now, which was something you really couldn't do in the past. Those look to all be in there.
Yeah, the thing is like, I wonder where GW is going to push the Tau, in what direction. Are we going to see like an all Crisis suit army, or are the Crisis suits going to be more elite, like in my opinion, like I think they should be? And who knows, then maybe they are $50 a model. Are they going to be as strong or as powerful as a broadside? Because they're $50 for a single model. And now that they've got this new kit coming out, the kind of in between, the tweener, let's say, I don't know. Like I first off, if I haven't said this on this cast already, I hate Tau. I hate them very much.
How do you feel about Eldar?
Yeah. So, but I hope that the direction that the Tau can go in is something I can get behind. I don't mind playing against Devilfish. One of our veterans tonight was talking about he's paying a Devilfish from last week. So I hope that we can get away from kind of where we were at with Tau and move forward into a better direction.
Yeah, and I can see it easily being done when you have the base book, and then you have these expansions, like the Callion and also the Damocles little inserts in each of the box sets that come out this week. So when you have these little things, these little splash releases where you can spice up the Tau, give them their Decurions or whatever, give them some new formations, give them a new special character like that Ethereal. That's really spicy to me. I feel like they needed that.
Hey, I'm sorry for the delay here. I've been actually like responding to text messages from people who actually watched the webcast tonight.
Oh.
So I'm not gonna lie, I literally didn't listen to anything you just said. But
damn it, that was your turn, Kenny.
So I'm gonna jump in right here. We got man, a lot of people jumped up. I think our new buddy Alfie B, he just hit me up and he was asking for information about the Kickstarter. Our buddy Tim Spikowski from King's Hobbies and Games just showed me. He said, "Yo, I just got the new leaves in," and that's one of our sponsors right there, obviously. So like, literally, I need to just put my phone down while I'm doing this thing because I can't stop myself from talking to these people because I love them so much. But before we talk about like obviously Kickstarter info and things like that, I think we need to close out this segment of the show with a brand new topic, something we've never talked about before.
What's that?
Flames of War.
Oh yeah,
that's true. We never.
We have literally never spoken of this. We've talked about Mantic. We've talked about Dust. We've talked about anachronisms several times.
Church.
Church. We've never talked about this new thing. I think that Mike Hass was into called how do you pronounce that? Flames of.
Yeah, it's Flames of War.
But now, just to make sure that everybody, the Tau people out there, Kenny came in kind of hot, and we did change the topic to Flames of War. But we are going to get to the Tau rules, and we're going to break down our
the Tidewall
on it.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. And just to close it out real quick, the Tau XV8 Crisis Battlesuit box is $75 retail.
So is that more than money? What was the pool at?
You get 3 in that one, so I guess they are about $25, which makes the Commander box at 2 for $50 seem like a deal, I guess, if they're character level.
I'd be surprised if there's going to be 2, man. I'm telling you, I think it'd be 1.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll know next week.
So, Flames it is.
All right, so Flames of War, for those of you who don't know, is a World War II game made by Battlefront Miniatures. It's 15 millimeter. It's a lot of fun. But frankly, they've done World War II, they've done World War One. They have an expansion for World War One. They've done Vietnam. They've even done variants of the Arab-Israeli wars.
Yeah, they did the 5-day war, right? You can play with the jets and stuff.
6-day war. Yeah.
6 day, excuse me.
Yeah. But they are coming.
Damn, Rob, you're awful at history.
You're right.
They are coming up with a game that has got my attention because I'm just kind of, there's a lot of World War II stuff out there and it's easy to saturate the market. There's Bolt Action. There's a bunch of other games. But this one I think is unique. And I'm going to take you back to a time when Ronald Reagan was still president, when Red Dawn was new and Patrick Swayze was a teen hunk. when the PC wars weren't even a thing because PC wasn't a thing. We're talking about Atari and Commodore were the raging war of the time. We're going all the way back to like 1985 and a book by Harold Coyle that came out called Team Yankee. And it was a company-sized, armor company-sized story about World War III. Told from the point of view of this armor company. And Battlefront and Phil Yates have decided that they're going to make a game out of that. And so we are talking, 1985, 1986 time era. Super Cobras going up against Heinz, Frogfoots against A-10s, Warsaw Pact against NATO. And I have been waiting for this game like since SSI and Reforger 88, playing those on my computer and reading Red Storm Rising. This is before Glasnost. This is before Perestroika. This is really, Soviets against the US of A, proxying NATO versus Warsaw Pact. And I am super excited for it. Where it looks like it's going to be coming out at the end of the year. We're talking 15 millimeter. So far, they're talking all plastic releases, so it's not the combination resin, metal, or resin plastic that Flames of War has done before.
Yeah,
Mike, pretend I literally don't know anything about anything. How big is 15 millimeters?
15 millimeters is smaller than 40k, but bigger than Epic. Epic is 6 millimeter, and 40k is 28 mil.
Yeah, it is effing tiny. Let me tell you, Flames of War guys, there isn't that many of them around my local scene or anything. To be honest, not even that many that I've seen across the country traveling. But when you do find a Flames of War people, they are diehards. I'm talking about to their terrain, literally matches a map of some, war scene that has happened, and they take time and effort. It is a official game.
They even wear like the uniforms, like literally. I've seen these guys with belt buckles on. Yeah, like I mean everything. You know what I mean? Like
pins and buttons everywhere. Like I mean, it is official. So the game is it's made by the same people who did Flames of War.
That is correct. It is Battlefront Miniatures, and this is going to be their next iteration game, I guess. I don't know that for sure, but it does. Once you start releasing all the stuff from the 80s, man, you can do a lot. You can do the first Gulf War. You can do, it's missing like Apache helicopters and a couple other things. That I think the Apache came into real use in 1986. So but you could totally do Gen 1 Apache helicopters. We're talking all kinds of stuff like Bradleys, not stuff that's still in use today. Except
that's such a cool time period. Oh my God, I've never even thought.
The Patriot missile launcher.
You could do all kinds of stuff. You can do like a second Korean War. You could do more Arab Israeli stuff. The first Gulf War. You could talking about of course, the game is around the Fulda Gap, the old East Germany, West Germany. You can do all kinds of stuff. It opens up. You could actually do, and this is the kind of thing that gets me giddy, is you could do Fortress America as a 15 millimeter war game on a table. That just gets me crazy. Right?
Dog, your little like intro you just spit at us got me going. Like it was like listening to, because I don't read books. I listen to books on Audible, but it was like listening to Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah,
hearing like that narrated to me, because like they're all obsessed with the 80s and that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, oh my God, I'm right here with you. I mean, obviously, I'm not an old person, so I wasn't alive in the 80s. Or I was alive in the 80s, but I wasn't a grown ass man in the 80s. But you got me going, man. I want to play the shit out of this game. Me and Juice are gonna play this game. Do you think this game will have a future adaptation with anachronisms?
No, but it would be really cool to go, okay, because this stuff is out and there's so much 15 millimeter stuff out there, like Grunts is a 15 millimeter sci-fi war game. There's so much 15 millimeter out there that you could do a scenario like, say, hey, what would happen if a U.S. Marine armored company faced an alien invasion, faced hover tanks all of a sudden? Or you could go, what if a Marine armored division went back to World War II? What could they handle? You could do all that stuff.
Just imagine if all of a sudden I threw down Leonidas and he now is commanding, instead of 300 Spartans, he has 300
Marines with assault rifles.
Battle tanks.
300 battle tanks, 300 helicopters.
Sure.
GG. We will blot out the sun.
GG, son. Yeah.
That would. That sounds really good.
Behind this game, Haskell. When we bring other people on and talking with hobby, have you ever had a chance to play Dust?
Only the really, really old iteration that was kind of a board game almost.
Yes, the Dust War, Dust Tactics.
Yeah, that was before Mac actually did the rules and everything like that. So I really cannot speak to it.
Gotcha. Then they turned it to Dust Warfare as the miniatures game versus the tabletop. Okay. Yeah, I was going to try to see if I could try to make a comparison between Dust and what this game is looking like, because it is. I've talked about it before here and there, and Dust was a really, really fun game for me. Just, how much time do we actually have in a day?
Exactly.
To play all the games that we want.
Yeah, it's kind of like old RPG. Like one of my biggest mantras is, one of my mottos is always got to specialize. You can't afford to generalize. And I use that as actually my go-to RPG, like anytime I play a role-playing game, like mantra. And it actually also applies to the overarching level of my life. Like I can't afford to generalize with my gaming. I got to specialize because I will never have enough time to actually get into like what I want to do. Because it's like literally everything is awesome. So first category of like specialize is like wargaming. Boom. All the gaming I can do, I specialize wargaming. Now in the wargaming world, you have to like yet again like narrow your focus. What kind of wargaming do you want to do? You know what I mean? Like so that's why we're a mostly 40k podcast show. But it is great to bring in people with another perspective who've had a little bit longer life than me, so they could have specialized on something else.
I think he just called you old, dude.
Yeah, well, one of the neat things about 15 mil is if you have an airbrush, you can paint an army in like an hour. Like no
I was about to say, damn.
Juice can paint an army in an hour right now.
Without an airbrush. Dog.
He uses the Crayola air markers.
Yep. First off, I could probably have an army painted without a paintbrush nor a airbrush. Okay, in an hour.
Yeah, easy.
Fingers.
3 color.
If you guys only knew like the Barely Tabletop quality basing rubric, oh my goodness! It turns out that black paint green paint is also glue.
Yep.
I mean,
or flock.
I mean, it makes sense. It's got to dry, right? I mean, what I'm saying is why this is how we look at it here at BTTQ. When you break it down, and if it's a 3-step process, no matter what the second step is, just
cut it out. Cut it out.
You don't need that.
You don't need it. I don't care what it is. You don't need it. So step 1 would be paint the base. Step 2 would apply glue, and then
step 3 is put the flock on the glue, right? You're like, no. Fuck the glue.
No, so let's use BTTQ's reasoning rationales. Step 1, paint the base. Go immediately. Step 3, put flocking on it. I mean, it's a no-brainer here, guys.
No, I watched them base all these guys. Literally, he's like painting them green and then dipping them in green flock. I'm like, oh my god, it's genius.
He's like, yo, I gotta base these 60 models real quick. 20 minutes later, done.
Yep.
Because I was thinking with 15 mil, I was like, that army painter strong tone and dark tone, that's gonna get used.
Oh my goodness,
for real.
You can buy that in a little dropper bottle now too, which I think is really clutch.
Really?
I'm gonna be featuring some more army painter stuff on the next level painting channel here soon. I've been using we're going through gallons of their primer for this massive Tiernage project that obviously I'm working on for a good friend of the show, Stoner Steve, Blood for the Blood God. And the next thing you guys are going to see is obviously 9 Carnifexes. Wow. Stoner Steve has a pipe dream, and he is. I want to live in a world where I can put 9 hand-to-hand Carnifexes down the table.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what. In Stoner Steve's world, whatever it is, he makes it happen because he is a man after my own heart. He is coming strong to the game of High Fleet, whatever his is going to be.
Yeah, High Fleet, Blood for the Blood God, no fucks were given to this day.
Yeah, yep.
I don't know. He might reconsider his number of Damacrons, or the Masterons rather.
Oh yeah, he needs to. So just to put this in perspective, don't want to throw salt in Stoner Steve's game, but he basically was like, how many monstrous creatures? Okay, got it. I want max. Yeah. If it can fit in a list, that's how many. Because if I have the chance to, I will run. You know, like. I've never seen. I mean, it is unbelievable. It is a sheer act of amazingness.
And the way they bring hobby back up there in Alberta, in the frozen Alberta, is they play like a lot of apocalypse games. You know what I mean? Like they literally lay it out, get their guys together. They enjoy some responsible recreational activities and slam dunk it with a 50,000 point game. And he wants to have all the nids on the table. Like, and he's bringing hobby back in his own way.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to look amazing. I cannot wait. Got to contact Stoner Steve to make sure that the second he gets all these models on the tables, he starts snapping some pics because it is official. It is definitely next level.
Oh my goodness, he is. He also featured. I mean, good pun, because also next level painting is painting his armies.
Yes.
I mean, we got a lot of things to do this year. Let's take a quick break, talk to our sponsors, and come back and answer the question: is the new Tidewall hot or not?
Dun dun dun.
Dear veterans, quickly, make your way to the longwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
And we're back, man. So, you guys have the answers to this question. Is the Tidewall hot or is it not?
Well, I think before we put our official stamp of yay or nay on this, we should run down some of the rules real quick and give the folks at home kind of where we're coming from. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, Rob.
Well, I think a great point to do is not have the classic mistake of get half the rules and then pass judgment and then find out that the other half of the rules are amazing. If you are a veteran of the Long War and you are able to watch the webcast from tonight, then you know exactly what we're talking about. If you are not, go to longwar.net, become a veteran of the Long War today, and be able to laugh along with us.
And if you have no intention of joining up, just recognize that we've never done that. We've never passed judgment before hearing the rules.
No, whatsoever. Never, ever. So the Tidewall Rampart is actually like a fortification formation, for lack of a better term. It consists of 4 distinct terrain features that are all going to be available separately and probably have their own separate rules and points costs. But this is 2 of the Tau shield lines, 1 of the Tidewall gun rings, and 1 Tidewall drone part. The gun ring, I'm sure you guys have seen that. That's the big thing with the double, the twin linked railgun that can fire, the solid shot or the submunitions, right?
That whole thing you just said is literally what I've named my penis.
Yeah, all I could think of is like, this piece of terrain needs to have like the 17th century intro, like the Tidewall Rampart, the savior of mankind. The defender of enemies.
The defender of Florentine virginity.
Jesus.
I'm all about the gun ring.
May the sound of our Tau submunitions deafen the enemy.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So obviously, Rob, obviously all this stuff is readily available. You're not going to have any problem buying this from the local hobby shop though, right?
Let's just say it's sold out. But
okay, word. No big deal.
That's okay. They're going to make more, and they're going to make the individual components. It's all good. Good Guy GW is on the case. They figured it out. They're on it.
So it's not the GW Black Lotus.
No, it's not the GW Black Lotus.
What is that? What's that Yu-Gi-Oh card? Blue Eyes White Eye Dragon or something like that? I
think Exodia is like still a big thing, isn't it? Like the 9 pieces that form Voltron.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. So
obviously, Rob, let me just try to paint this picture. So it's obviously basically just Aegis defense line with a gun in the middle. Right?
I'm sure that's what you Imperium players would like to believe, but it turns out it actually can move. It moves 6 inches.
But obviously it can't move every turn.
No, it move every turn.
It can move.
Well, okay.
Not only does it move every turn, but all the things on top of it basically get to fire like they didn't move.
No, word. So like when you say it can move every turn, you obviously mean that it gets some kind of negative, like they don't get to use the cover save, or like the guns are -1 ballista skill, or can't shoot at all in some situations, right?
No, there's none of that.
Okay.
Oh man, I just thought of something bad, right? So what if you have scout and you start on the wall? Does it scout?
The wall technically can't scout, because if you break down how it works,
it doesn't have a embarkation.
It's not a transport.
Yeah, it has to be a transport. It has to be a vehicle, and it has to claim a faction.
Okay.
But that's a good point there, because that could get a little saucy, I feel like. But speaking of saucy, the saucy part of this is that it's, depending on where you are on this thing, whether you're behind the shield line, or you're in the gun ring or the drone port.
The gun ring.
The gun ring goes in the drone port. We all know this.
That's just nature.
War gamers might not know that.
No. You have to find the drone port. That's your mission in life. Find the drone port.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's definitely the mission every game for me.
So if you're behind this thing, you actually, if you go to ground, if you're a scrawny Xenos player and you go to ground, then actually no. If anybody is behind it and goes to ground from a shot, it doesn't have to be Tau faction. That's interesting. The thing that shot them on a 6, if they save their cover on a 6, the thing that shot them has a 1 randomly allocated wound or glancing hit put on them.
But no strength or AP profile?
Resolved the same AP, the attacking.
So obviously,
it's auto wounds and auto glance.
But that group has to go to ground, right?
They do.
Oh, okay. Well, that means they're not shooting at you the next turn. That's gravy.
That's true.
But yeah, but it says it's the same Tau Codex. Going to snap firing doesn't mean shit to a bunch of people who are going to sling a bunch of marker joints at you and bring the ballistic.
Why do you got to kill my high?
And then also this thing allows models. Is it that are on the ramparts?
Yep.
That it gives them basically preferred enemy. They reroll ones to
obviously that's like not everybody. That's just the people in the gun ring, right?
Any model of the Tau Empire faction that are on the Tidewall rampart.
So they have to actually be on.
What part of it counts as the rampart? Not obviously the entire thing. The entire thing, of course. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking this thing. So either way, you heard how disgusting this is. You heard, and from what we understand, it's gonna point in at about 265 points.
Yeah, it's 265. The individual, but you can add. But wait, there's more. You can add more shield lines to it for 60 points each, or another drone port for 60, or a gun ring for 85.
You got to be careful when you add another drone port to the equation.
They start getting jealous.
Yeah, when
sometimes
you add
they can sync up,
and you don't throttle back.
We all like to think that one gun ring is enough for 2 drone ports, but no one's that competent.
No.
Yeah. You now have to start thinking stamina. And all kinds. So it's
remember, you're only moving 6 inches a turn.
Yeah,
so don't overextend.
That's pretty far in Warhammer terms, I feel like.
Yep.
Well, we're obviously talking about other things.
Oh, is that what this is about?
So, I would like to now. Would we agree that all the nuts are on the table?
Yes.
Everybody knows everything there is with what we have about this. I would like to be the first person to say, I do not think, no matter how good we just talked it up, I do not think this is, this is a not.
You don't think it's hot. You don't think it's hot. You think it's not.
You think it's a not?
I'm gonna go with a solid not. Here's why.
We don't know how many points it is though. How many points is it?
265.
265 is what it's alleged to be. Mr. CEO said it.
Yeah, it's a Land Raider with a multi-melter.
So this is my justification for some of the people. Again, if you're able to watch us tonight, you heard us talk about it, but I don't think that it is that big of a game changer. I think what Tau needs to stay alive and other things, like why wouldn't a Void Shield Relay be better for you? Why wouldn't a Sky Shield landing pad?
Less than half the points for the Void Shield.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, for that matter, just give yourself cover and you get a +2+ cover with going behind Aegis defense line. Like, what are you trying to actually
50
accomplish?
points, yeah.
What are you trying to actually accomplish with this? Also, it's really cool, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but like for people to say, oh, the sky is falling, this thing is going to shoot shots back at you. Honestly, really, it's not like they gave this to a close combat army that doesn't have any shooting return firepower. The damn firepower that Tau is going to be shooting at you anyway is going to dwarf most of the firepower that you would actually reflect back onto somebody else.
Yeah, like unless you're going up against another Tau army.
Yeah.
It seems like the current meta is. I mean, a lot of the best. Let's face it, the army that won Nova is a Super Friends army. Yep. Basically as of right now, Super Friends is the best army. An assaulting Death Star with some type of psychic protection is just going to smile at the fact that you have 260 points less firepower.
Yeah.
Than you normally have.
Yeah, the Super Friends unit is going to be like, oh, cool, you that's cute. You reflect my shots. Do you reflect my movement as I tromp and shit all over it with my Thunder Cav?
Some gun ring you got there.
Yeah. Let me just tell you what, that gun ring turns into a blown out O-ring.
Okay, real quick. Okay?
Nobody wants to see what happens.
Nobody wants to see what happens when you get a detached O-ring.
Yeah.
That's messy.
It gets messy.
Oh my God.
I got some sauciness for you, okay? Blood and O-ring.
I think it's definitely a not. I mean, right now in the current meta, I don't think it's a must-have for Tau. Now, maybe GW knows something we don't. Maybe this is necessary down the road, but it's obviously popular.
It's super cool. Like absolutely, it's super cool. But again, another point we talked about, and we're just saying other things that if you wanted to use this, the Void Shield Relay, but like we talk about like OP and broken things, like if you actually think about it, but people don't because the model isn't available because they did this limited run here with air quotations. The Void Shield Relay is literally broken.
Yeah, the field shield generator with its maximum shields is literally broken. Broken is all hell. Broken. Cannot be argued. You could take this same Death Star army, right, that we talked about. Literally can scout move 12 inches on turn 1, and leave one Fenrisian wolf toe dragging his little black paw inside the range of it, and you literally can't shoot them until you've brought down 3 armor 12 shields. Then you can finally shoot them. So that means like some of your best firepower, you have to deliver like an entire broadside unit to delivering. And what they're going to do is like, you know what? Fine, you get to go around behind this wall. Then the 4 grav gun shots and the orbital strike from the chapter master are all going to target one of your, broadside units. So that one's going to go to ground and be crippled. And then one of your other ones has to shoot the void shields down. And all you're left is literally the strength 5 crap that doesn't hurt them. Like literally it is, I have to agree. It is. I think it's enough.
Yeah. So if we want to talk about aggressively pointed, you can get like a tricked out one for like 150 points.
Yeah, literally it's 150. Like.
Yeah. So it's one of those like, and we're not. I don't. So I guess my point is, I'm not saying that they have to come out, with the next broken piece of terrain, because that's not what we're looking for. It's really cool and it's really whatever. I love the fact that this ramp or the Tidewall has so many cool rules. It's going to do so much. It's going to make people happy to play.
Oh, yeah. Does it? Yeah. Does it bring hobby back? Hell yeah, it does.
Hell yeah, it does.
Yeah, and that's why I got to say it's hot.
So
it's not for the like the game playing brokenness reason, but because it is awesome to see Xenos terrain on the table that people haven't had to home make. Like this is actually from GW. You can take it out of a box. And it's Xenos terrain, and I would love it if they did it to Tyranids. Not so much Eldar. Eldar can go screw themselves. But
spoiler.
But I love it.
They don't even have a home, so like they wouldn't have terrain.
No,
they live in ships.
Go home. Oh.
Spoiler alert. The Nids are getting terrain. I talked with Steve Jobs. Him and I have created the terrain before he passed away, and we're getting. Force.
So it's going to be an Apple. It's going to be an iPhone app. iPhone app.
Yeah. It's app oriented. And it's basically pissed off jungles. That's what I want as a Nid player. That's what I want. I literally want a piece of terrain, a fortification, or whatever that I get to place in the opponent's table half instead of my own. And it replaces something, whatever else, and you have to take massive dangerous terrain checks or get eaten alive.
That's actually fluffy because in some of the books, in some of the books they talk about the Tyranids. That it's not only the big bugs that we see, but they have little microscopic bugs that come down through the atmosphere and start eating at people's lungs and stuff.
Yeah, those are called marsupials.
I'm pretty sure that
nice SAT word.
I'm pretty sure you made that up.
This is a mama rat humping the shit out of a papa.
He's straight.
They
Mike,
do it like us.
He's straight pile driving her.
We can't have more than 2 or 3 episodes go by without quoting Bad Boys 1 or 2.
Yep.
So there it was.
Well, if I was a betting man, I would definitely say that there is going to be Tyranid terrain this January.
I hope
think
so.
you're.
Hint,
I hope
hint.
Yeah, you heard it here first. I'm just joking, but like Robbie B is actually the hidden CEO of GW. So
Yeah, GW. We keep telling them they need to hire us. I think they hired him.
Don't you
Yes.
put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh my God! Right. But
I would quit and move to Nottingham right now. If
right now, GW, are you listening to this?
Are you listening to this?
You could get Mike Aspel right now.
Yeah, right now. I would even learn to speak British. Whatever.
Yeah, I would literally spend the
I already watched Doctor Who. I'm halfway there. I'm there.
Halfway there. So, real quick, guys, let's shift gears. About 20 minutes left in the show. Let's jump into the webcast recap. Unless you guys have anything more to say about this moving O-ring terrain.
Nah, I think we should.
Right.
So moving right into webcast recap. What a great show. And guys, tonight we had, it was one of our busiest shows we've had in a long time. I think people are kind of settling in, getting the hustle and bustle of the summer and schools and whatnot. So what a phenomenal show. And the banter back and forth was great. Absolutely love it. I think it was the fastest hour we've done yet. And actually, we went over we went 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because people just kept coming on. So, but there was a couple big points that I did want to bring out. And Emperor's Canaries is always tuned in with us and is always giving us some great points. And they broke it down like this. One more thing the whole concept of Tau and everything else is what they're talking about. And it's just one more thing that's going to bring Helldrakes back. He's like, five Helldrakes is going to be the new hotness. They kill stupid bikes, Tau. It doesn't matter about, the Tide Ramparts that get these cover saves and reflect stuff back. Like, yo, guess what you can reflect back from my flame?
Dog, I'll tell you what, man, like being a cast player, playing multiple Helldrake, like Typhus and Zombies and Helldrakes is still a really good army. People don't realize that, especially in a kill point world, it's hard to get kill points against. In an objective world that has a lot of scoring units, literally you can play a list right now that has Typhus, 120 Zombies, and 4 Helldrakes. With 2 more Chaos Psychers. Like, you literally have a good chance of getting, 2 Shroud Bubbles off or an Invisibility and a Shroud off, and now you have 120 Shrouded Zombies with 4 Helldrakes. Literally, it's good to go. Good to go. 2+ cover everywhere on objectives, and let me just bust out, kill all your new super Ravenwing bikers with your super cover save, and let me kill your Tau all behind the Tau wall,
Yeah, and especially with Marines coming to make a big, strong comeback with Gladius Strike Force and the Demi Company, you're talking about all you got to do is pop a Rhino and then now Flame Template and kill 10 guys inside.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So, no, I can definitely – there's actually I've been thinking because, I love playing my NIDs with my Flyrants with Legion. I love playing them with some other stuff and now Damashrons and stuff. But I've definitely for a while have been torn with the idea of 3 Hive Tyrants and 2 Helldrakes. So I still get that 5 flying MC kind of feel.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention a Helldrake has Vector Strike and can hover.
Yep, exactly. And they give me that ignore cover that's why I look to my Legion for, because I need some of that ignore cover and some good low AP shooting as well. So Helldrakes aren't going anywhere. I think
they're still good. They're really tactical, man.
Yep. So I agree. I think and for all the trolls out there who say that they got nerfed and they're horrible, I still think for 170 points it's tough to beat.
They went from being really good and easy to play with to now it takes 10 seconds of thinking.
That's the thing is when stuff changes from easy button mode to not so easy button mode, there's a little bit of a disconnect with players sometimes. I feel
That's true. That's what I was trying to say, but you said it way more politely than I did. I was about to say, if you're too stupid to figure out that now you have a 22.5-inch arc on both sides of the face of the Helldrake, you can't come in as hot. You got to think. You got to think about you before you just to be able to go anywhere and shoot. Now you got to think about it for 5 seconds. Okay, I can't just go anywhere and shoot, so I have to go here and shoot, then here and shoot, and then I can still hover and shoot. So it's all good.
100%. So also speaking of the Tidewall ramparts, Evan wants to know, will the wall block line of sight since it's floating or just give cover saves?
My guess is it would block line of sight. And the thing I'm using as a precedent is the monolith from the Necrons. It's supposed to be a skimmer, so it floats, but you can't see underneath it. It's not on a flying base, so it blocks line of sight.
Well, definitely. Well, blocks. It's WYSIWYG. It's what you see is what you get. Line of sight for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's a solid statement. You know, I don't think that they're gonna introduce a rule like with drop pods. Like, no matter whether or not this guy can actually see through, you know, you always get a cover save, this or this. Like, it's going to be true line of sight. Two more things. Branton Yates, another person who's always veteran, who's always with us. Because he's been watching all the videos with the High Fleet Lexus in the Beats Laboratory. His NIDS juices have been flowing, and so he is letting us know how he's putting together and prepping a Herodon and a Hierophant for his painting table.
Oh wow, heck yeah, those are huge.
Yeah, I hate him by proxy. Falzinos.
I only hate scrawny Xenos. Have you seen the biceps on a Termagant?
Yeah, like, they're probably bigger than mine.
They're way bigger than mine. Like, they're like the size of Jaguars. I mean, like,
he's rocking 20s.
Imagine a cockroach coming at you with biceps bigger than mine, and he is functionally the speed and size of a panther. Yeah. You would literally shit yourself and die.
Yeah, you would employ what the pygmy rattlesnake does. He either regurgitates or shits all over himself, or plays.
That sounds like me when I've had gluten.
Yep. Yep. You're basically gonna reenact Robbie B on glutens. Yeah. When you see these guns coming at you IRL.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like, that's what a great point, because we actually laugh and joke about this like all the time. It's like, do you know what we talk about how big and bad, but like, do you know what a single Ripper from a Ripper film, or like a single
I would be so
Nurgling?
Terrified.
Oh my God. I would literally all at once shit myself and play dead.
Yo,
play dead in my own shit.
I might actually be dead though.
King movie with the turd burglars, the little dudes in the toilet, like he tried to catch the dream
catcher.
Was that it? Yeah. Those are Rippers.
Yeah, he called them shit weasels.
Dude, oh my God, shit weasels. You ever think about like the old Indian in a Cover movie? Like, imagine if you put like a Nurgling inside the Indian in a Cover and open that joint up, and then this little Nurgling came out and
he would poop all over everything.
Brought into existence, because like I always think of like the game things, right? So the second you turn the key on the Indian cover when you put a Nurgling in there and open it, you have now brought into existence chaos and Nurgle. Like, so like,
yeah, easy. I put my Grey Knight army in the cover.
Yeah,
done.
There you go. So by just straight up existence means now the forces of chaos exist. You'd have to open up the cover and bring out your 28mm Grey Knight army. Meanwhile, the forces of chaos literally still exist, and the warp exists now, and they're turning legions of people to chaos.
And they talk about the NIDS being the bad guys. I'm still, as I went on a tangent before, we are the only true neutral or good guys in the 41st millennium.
Equal opportunity.
You're just hungry. That's all.
That's it.
NIDS and orcs. Tyrannids and orcs are the only ones that don't have a hidden agenda. Like NIDS, their agenda is literally survival of their race, which for us, survival is simple things like procreation and shelter. Their species survival is a lot more aggressive, but it's still just survival. The orcs, fighting is just social. There's no agenda. You know what I mean? Like it's all of mankind is the most violent races.
Yep.
Like easily. And even when you really break down like chaos and the Imperium, chaos just has a difference of opinion politically, and was willing to step up for what they believe in and wear it on their sleeve. You know, like definitely the Imperium is the most evil people in 40k.
I still remember, by the way, in like end of 3rd edition when I was reading some of the fluff, and I came across that they fed like 1,000 souls a day to the Emperor for the Astronomicon, and I was like, how are they the good guys?
Yeah. Let me tell you, I've spent many a years playing role-playing games and stuff like that. It was D&D in the beginning, and then obviously when Dark Heresy came out and all this, like we loved it. Let me tell you what I figured out about the Imperium. We learned about corruption points. and things like this. By the time I had the equivalent of started out a first level character, by the time I had like a 12th or 13th level character, I was by the book almost evil. Like I hadn't even made it to like, epic level or anything else, but because of the shit that I had to do, every week.
So day to day as a standard Imperial officer.
Exactly. Corruption. Dog, like, this corruption table was so crucial that it's like, you get tainted, you get this, you get offers by, it is like, they're literally pure evil.
That's interesting because that's actually the reasoning, basically the story that the Alien Syndicate and the Horus Heresy novels basically displayed. They're like, yo, some shit's gonna happen. Horus is gonna side with them because Chaos tells them this, which really isn't not the truth.
Wow.
Horus does what Harris do. You take that back.
That's right.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories of this whole game thing is probably in mid 4th edition, before Adepticon. We're playing at the Battle Bunker in Chicago in Schaumburg, and I think it was in Schaumburg anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But we were
familiar.
playing there, and this woman came in with her son, and he was picking out an army, and she said she didn't want him to play the bad guys. So who were the good guys? And the whole Battle Bunker kind of just went quiet.
I totally wish I was there because I would have started pleading my case immediately.
The Xenomorphs are the good guys.
I actually think he went with Tau. I honestly think he went with Tau.
He went to the dark side. Yeah, I feel like I would have to have a. I can only envision a maybe like 3'8" kind of a thin lad, and I feel like I would have to approach the situation like get down on like one knee and get eye to eye, and it's like you have a decision to make, son. Right now, a line is being
first off, call me dad.
Yeah.
Call
For
me
the
dad.
rest of this conversation, I am your father.
I smuggled this pocket watch out of the Nam in my butt.
Yeah, this is yours. I want you to have this whenever you look at this watch. I want you to know what time it is. Yeah. It's go time.
It's go time.
You either put that box and erase the thought of that army from your brain and you move to this side, or I want you to know you're dead to me.
You're dead to me, son. Son, I'm cutting you off.
Son, you will be cut off. I need you to understand the severity, Absolutely. So, moving right along, new veteran, and great to have him on the show, and hopefully he joins us every Wednesday. Alfie B is checking in and wants to know, had some great comments to say earlier and everything, but we weren't able to get to this question before, and how fitting it is to talk about it now. Any news to share about the upcoming Kickstarter?
So we're talking about Alfred Eugene Bonnable IV?
Yes.
Okay, this is a longtime friend of mine.
Alfie Bond.
We're gonna streamline it to Alfie B4.
That's right.
Alfie B the fourth. And so I'm actually been in a conversation with him. He's obviously waiting for the Kickstarter and everything like that. So we'll use this as an opportunity to do our quick little promotion before we wrap it up with Hobby Pipe Dreams. So the Long War Kickstarter is coming. It is delayed. It is delayed, and we promise of the purest, for the purest intention. Things go down, man. Like, we're not trying to make excuses. First step is that the Kickstarter was a lot of work, and we didn't feel comfortable where we were with how little work we had done for how much work it actually required. So taking a step back from it, reevaluating, kind of gutting it. Simultaneously, the server and the website kind of crashed a little bit on us, and we've been really building that back up, putting a lot of funds and time.
The official term is we're performing maintenance on the site.
There it is, performing maintenance. And also, like, that's what I want to say is, like, not only we always say we don't do this for money. It does take money to do this. That is a fact. Not only are we pouring tons of minutes and hours into getting these things up, like getting the server back, we're also literally pouring tons of money into it. So that's why things like Kickstarter are there to help you get some capital, some walking around capital. So I'm excited to announce the Kickstarter. It's on the table. Rob and I's next thing to do, get it out. We're almost done. We're just trying to finalize some of the shipping stuff and this and that. But, like, here's the good news. Good news is that we kind of gutted the stretch goals. We kind of got back to basics. We took a step back. We talked to Juice. We all kind of took this little vacation out into the forest, back to our roots, and we decided that the stretch goals needed to include some really, some things that we're known for, like the bits bags, the fat sack of bits, the hobby boxes, the mystery boxes. So like we're going to bring in stretch goals that are going to include a thematic mystery box. One of them is going to be themed for painting and hobbying. One is going to be themed for basing and hobbying, and one's going to be themed for bits. And these are going to be mystery bits boxes, which Robbie B, the inventor of bits, the inventor of mystery promotion, is going to
of bits.
There you go. That's actually like
you
Ben
created them.
Did Ben Franklin invent or discover lightning? I mean electricity, like right? He literally invented it. He invented it. You're right. Like, I'm with you, dog. Rob Bear.
Yeah, bits was what you used to put a model together. Everything else was trash.
Trash.
Yo, let me just derail real quick. Just wanted to say something real quick. First of all, next month will be the 10-year anniversary of the start of Battle Wagon Bits. So first off, thanks to everybody. If you ever bought anything from Battle Wagon Bits, or even Spikey Bits, when I had the store and stuff, thank you so much, because it was a great ride. Loved it.
Wow, man. I can't believe it's actually funny because I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary this month. You're doubling me. That makes sense because you're literally twice as old as me.
That is also not true.
That's making me feel really old.
Just to get back on track so we can finish this episode off, though. So we're going to move forward with this Kickstarter ASAP. And we're going to bring you the heat. We're really going to bring you some stuff that you want, like these bits bags that Rob at Battle Wagon Bits and Spikey Bits, he invented this. He invented getting people quality mystery items from love. And like him and Juice have partnered together, and they really bring the heat together. They've done 2 of these ventures this year. Amazing 2 quarterly bits pushes. So we really know how the Long War as a business is going to push these bits bags out. So the Long War Kickstarter is coming this month. It's going to be even better than it was. So we apologize for the delays with a better Kickstarter. Simultaneously, I wanted to talk about real quick Patreon. I don't think you've ever heard us promote Patreon here on the podcast, but Patreon is a side thing. It's a side project. It's a personal crowdfunding website. It's like a lot like Kickstarter, but it's done on a more regular basis with less money. Rob has changed the parameters of his Patreon page. If you already are a donator and a patron of Rob Bear, you may have gotten a message or missed a message. This is a public service announcement. If you are already a patron of Rob Bear's Spikey Bits channel, he is now offering new rewards, giving out all the things he reviews. He's just slinging all this content to people. But more importantly, the parameters of the channel are changing. It is no longer to be a monthly support. It's going to be by video. So this matters. You need to go on there and you need to adjust your pledges appropriately, so that you don't get hit slam dunked with, wow, why did it cost me 3 times as much money this month? Because you need to, pledge a little bit less money. There's a new video up there. Rob built a new video. He explains everything. It is giving out more rewards. Please just go over there. If you're already a member, adjust your pledge. If you're not a member already, go over there. If you feel like you want to throw some money his way, take a look at it. It is very interesting. And that's enough of the whole promotion, give us money thing. Let's wrap this joint up with Hobby Pipe Dreams, if you guys agree with me.
Yeah, I'm down. I definitely, I've been playing a lot of Star Wars Armada. That's the new game by FFG. That's basically like big boy kind of X-Wing, I guess. It's like the grimdark X-Wing. It's the tactics are sound, but they're complex, but they're not complex enough that they're off-putting, I feel like. And I've been playing a lot of that. And if you've seen any of the ships are kind of big. They're bigger than the X-Wing ships. They're kind of like, I guess, around the size of a Space Marine tank in some instances, or like maybe like a Space Marine bike in the rest of the instances. So obviously those lend very well to, painting up, using airbrush, doing all sorts of crazy effects, stenciling, Rebel Alliance symbols, Imperial symbols, crazy engine, glow, like source highlighting, like on the back of the Falcon or, the Star Destroyers. and they're coming out with a Star Destroyer now that's like almost as big, if not bigger, than the Land Raider. And that thing just like screams to me like, oh my gosh, you got to paint this thing.
Obviously, you have to paint that thing. Holy shit! The size of a Land Raider.
Yep. And they're painted very well. They're not like the old HeroClix kind of.
Damn, I loved HeroClix, but damn, those models sucked.
These things are actually painted pretty well, so it almost would pain me to paint over some.
To do a worse job than it comes with.
I hear you, because when the Star Trek version came out, I was all ready to get into, but the paint jobs, I was just like, no, I can't do this.
They did not put any pips in the paint jobs for the Star Trek attack wing like X-Wing did. They put at least 2 pips in the paint.
X-Wing's gorgeous, beautiful.
Dude, let me ask you this question seriously, starting with Juice. Can you close your eyes and bring to your mind the image of a Star Destroyer? Can you do that for me?
Yep.
Now, while gazing at the Star Destroyer in your mind, is the Imperial March plane?
Yes.
Yeah, literally, you can't.
Just so you know, as I'm closing the Star Destroyer, I'm hearing the march, feeling Darth Vader's breath, and then all of a sudden I see another spaceship coming up, and Jar Jar Binks is.
It's literally playing every member of the cast of Star Wars on the Millennium Falcon.
And then I lift up Darth Vader's mask, and it's Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Vader.
Yep.
Oh my god!
I would immediately take back every bad thing I've said about J.J. Abrams if he did that.
If he pulled that out?
If he pulled that out as just trolling the world, I would just be like, that was magnificent.
Trolling mankind.
In other news, there isn't going to be an episode 8 or 9. Star Wars has been permanently shelved for the next 20 years.
But I just want to say that, like, you literally can't think of the image of a Star Destroyer without hearing Imperial March in your head.
It's the most iconic like thing from the movies, besides maybe the lightsaber. But it's literally what every movie almost has opened up with. Well, the first 2 would have Return of the Jedi opened up with the shuttle coming out of the Executor, right? So all 3 of the first movies opened up with Star Destroyers.
It's too clutch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and they're coming out. That's why they did the new Star Destroyer so good. I mean, the thing is huge. You see this thing, you put it in your hand. It's bigger than your hand. I'm like, I feel like I have a pretty decent sized hand. This thing is way bigger than my hand. I have to have parties.
Yep.
Now I have to paint it.
Oh.
So that might make a really good tutorial here in the near future. You
got to do at least the OSL on the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I might not try to repaint it all with all those little details, but I might just throw some OSL on it.
Well, another thing about the game is there's a lot of collisions and stuff between ships, and like a valid tactic is to just like basically run your Star Destroyers right at the rebels and just slam into them.
Nah.
So like,
because they can't do shit.
Yeah. Well, currently it might change in the new thing, but you're doing like some scoring and things like your whole point is
taking out swaths of the little squadrons of X-Wings.
Oh yeah. Harvest Brown is your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Reaper Harvest Brown.
It's a good color.
Oh my god.
But that's my hobby.
Reaper, I haven't even thought about the Reaper series for a long time. Okay, so before we end the show, let's talk about real quick what's changing over the longwar.net. The longwar.net obviously is your hobby resource. We got all the early exclusive access, but we're trying to add new one-of-a-kind exclusive access. Not just your exclusive early access to the painting tutorial, which is a week early. Not just your early access to the battle report and Rob Bear's hobby tutorial, but what we're talking about now is the webcast is going to be one-of-a-kind, veterans only. Sign up for free and check it out. See if you like it. If you do, $5.99 a month. But let me talk about value just real quick right after this segment. So we're going to bring that webcast in. We're going to be bringing the bonus features, the post-game interviews and the battle reports. And by the end of the year, we hope to have a video a day, a new exclusive Veterans, Hall of Veterans exclusive, members only video every day. We're talking 7 videos a week. That's the goal by the end of the year. Obviously we're going to be building up to that, but that's the commitment to growth we're at. But let's talk about value real quick. $5.99 is what we're asking. Right now we have 3 promotion code sponsors. We have Secret Weapon Miniatures, King's Hobbies and Games, and dicehead.com, offering 6%, 5%, and even 10% off discounts in some situations. Literally, we're all gamers and we know how to game things. If you buy models every month, but you buy from these people and you get to use these promotion codes, at the very minimum, the $5.99 we're asking for is a wash, even trade. And in some situations, you save money. And that's all I want to say about that.
Solid financial advice from Kenny B. I feel like.
This is how I look at the value. If you're not first, you're last. All veterans are first, okay?
Yeah, that's insane, Juice. You can be second place.
Yeah, hell, you can be third.
You can even be fifth place, man. That doesn't make sense.
I live my life by that.
Don't you be filling their heads with nonsense, Ricky Bobby? Well, I think on that note, we can definitely end it there. Thanks for everybody that came out for the webcast at 8 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday night. We had a ton of folks in there, like Juice was saying. It was really good times. Make sure you check that out live. Other than that, it will be over exclusive on the Long War here in going forward. So from now onsies. Good night, everybody. I didn't need to say that.
From now onsies? That was awesome.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at dicehead.com have rewarded us all with an extra 6% discount on all dicehead.com merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos,